guys, I just wanted to take you on a little tour of our home garden, which is not on our farm. It's completely different than what we do on our farm. There's a lot of permaculture happening here, which there is permaculture happening on our farm, but a lot more tree species and perennials grow here. And I just wanted to show you guys kind of what a home garden in a front yard could look like here in Bakersfield, California, or anywhere in California really. So this right here is an awesome plant to have in either your front or backyard. It attracts a lot of bees, and it is Salvia apiana, also known as white sage. You'll see a lot of the hippies take this plant and form bundles, and it's for the smudge sticks. It's a sacred plant for the Native Americans, used in a lot of religious ceremonies and rituals. Look at that, you can see it attracts lots of bees. Our carpenter bees, our honeybees are all over the place too. It's really pretty, and you can see it gets really wide and tall. I mean, this is like a massive plant. And it doesn't really need water, doesn't need fertility, it just is at home in our native soils. So that's one plant that I really like to utilize, and I think we should see more of. You can see we've got agaves here. We really tried to do a native landscape that was more drought resistant and less water use. So you can see a lot. There's saltbush. That's another native plant. I think it's Atriplex. Not sure on the species, but that's an Atriplex, and it's actually really salty, which it gets the name saltbush. You can actually cook these leaves. It's related to beets and chard. It's in that same Amaranthaceae family, or the Chenopodiaceae, what used to be the family. So yeah, that's another good one. I love this one here. This is a honey mesquite, prosopis. I can't remember how you pronounce it. Prosopis or prosopis. And I don't remember the species in Latin, but that's a honey mesquite. It's native to our region in California, a lot of desert regions too. It's really pretty. It fixes nitrogen in the soil. It's got these blooms. You can see they're about to start opening up. Actually, there's some open right here. It's just a really nice, attractive tree. I guess the only downside about it is that there are massive thorns on it. They get pretty big, and those could easily go through a shoe. So you might want to think about that if you ever try to start these. These were easy to start from seed. I believe I boiled some hot water and then turned the stove off and threw the seeds inside of the water and let them soak for about 24 hours, and then I planted them, and then they all sprouted. So yeah, it's a really nice tree, and it's in its third year, I think. So I wanted to highlight this one here. This is Feijoa celoiana, and it is a pineapple guava, super drought resistant, although you should water it if you want to get reliable yields of fruit. And you can see that it's about to open up right there. It's about to blossom, and I think this is its third or fourth year now, so it should start giving us fruit. You can see there's like tons of different things going on. Like, I really am not a big fan of grass, so I try to incorporate as many species and diversity into our garden as much as possible. And you'll see that there's really not much exposed soil anymore. It's all either mulched or there's plants growing. And there's lots of different guilds, there's yarrow in here, there's iris, there's, what's the name of this? California lilac. It's another native plant and nitrogen fixer. The calendulas are kind of starting to die off. The poppies too are starting to die off. But yeah, there's There's a lot of different plants in here. They're a favorite of mine. It's actually, I think, the best smelling sage out there, and it's a Salvia clevelandi, or a Cleveland sage. It's just absolutely beautiful smelling, and it's a really pretty plant too. It's nice purple flowers. So that's the Cleveland sage here. It's in its first years, and it's looking pretty good. It's also very drought tolerant, but these flowers are just amazing smelling, and the bees love it too. Right next to it is bladderpod, which is another native plant to the valley, parts of California. I believe it's in the caper family, and if you open up these seed pods, oh, it's taking me a while to get these out. Oh, there we go. See that right there? It's a bladderpod seed. It's not quite mature yet, so you can actually squeeze it. And I believe you can eat these. It's got a very interesting smell. It almost smells kind of like jalapeno and body odor. But it's a really pretty plant. The bees love it. And I can't remember what it's. Isomeris. No. Paratoma. It's one of those two. I can't remember the exact Latin on the plant, but it does not like water. It actually resents water. So we don't really water it that much. Only in the wintertime if we don't get rains. But in the summer, I kind of tend to leave it dry. Here's another native plant. This is a manzanita. It's Arctostaphylos. I don't remember the species. As you can see, I don't remember a lot of species names, but I remember genuses. Apparently you can use the berries after it flowers, and you can eat the berries. They're super high in antioxidants, like 3 or 4 times the amount of antioxidants of blueberries. And it gets a really nice, pretty red bark as it ages. Of course, we have a lot of flowering herbs here that are from the Mediterranean. So we've got lavender. That's another salvia right there. I think it's Salvia gregi, which is known as autumn sage. It's really pretty, and I've actually cooked with the leaf before. It's got a really nice, almost pine needle and sagey kind of taste. We got rosemary, of course. This is so cool too, how it all just blends in together. No soil is exposed at all. That's why we get away with watering a lot less than the average homeowner. There's artichokes there. They're all starting to bud out. We've got huge pomegranates. These things are loaded this year with flowers. I mean, even if you didn't like to eat pomegranates, the plants are just so pretty. Why would you not want to have these as an ornamental? I mean, the fruit is just an added benefit. Got some more artichokes growing here, and there's another mesquite. Love this plant too. This is a native marigold. It's a perennial. I believe it is Tagetes lemony. And you find it down like in southern Arizona, but it does really well here. Underneath here is showy forelock. Another native. Comes back every single year. Does not need any water. More rosemary. Strawberry tree. An arbutus species. Oh, look at that. It's got flowers on it. more mesquites. I'm using a lot of mesquites to fix nitrogen in the soil. And then we've got these dwarf almonds here. We got 3 of them. And I mean, why not? We live like in the almond capital of the world, basically, and I figure we could have some almonds of our own. These are only 2 years old, so they'll take a little while to actually produce some nuts for us. And then we've got a thornless blackberry here. It's the Washita blackberry. It's was developed out of Arkansas. And then I think one of the most underrated fruits and not really known about fruits is this one here, the loquat. One of my favorite fruits. It's really good when it's super ripe, but it's also good when it's kind of underripe still because it has like a tartness behind it. This came from a cutting from my wife's great uncle's tree. This tree was huge and it's loaded with fruit every year, and so we got a cutting from that tree. I have no idea what the variety is, but it's a really good one, and it's surrounded by parsley that's going to flower. So parsley is acting as a beneficial herb in this guild. It's really nice. Got agave here, another crepe myrtle. It's a really showy ornamental plant from China, just to attract bees and other insects. Huge oak tree, really pretty. Ginkgo biloba, very medicinal leaf. You can eat that for a wide range of ailments. Here's some more Salvia greggi, the pink and the red type. And then we, of course, have some poppies left still. They usually start to kind of die off around this time when it starts to get hot and there's less soil moisture available for them. So usually like in late February, early March, they're really, really pretty. And they come back every year. I don't actually seed them anymore. They just come back. But yeah, they tend to kind of lose their vigor around this time of year. We got some more rosemary, some coast rosemary, a plant from South Africa. Different salvia down here. It's really pretty. I believe this is the Mexican bush sage. This is pretty cool. I had a wild mulberry just kind of sprout up in the yard, and I'm planning on trying to find a Pakistani mulberry or some kind of choice variety and do some top work and graft right onto that. And they're underneath our birch trees, which are starting to kind of die off. They don't have a very long lifespan, and they just don't do well in our climate here. So we're trying to figure out how to, do something with them after. But I guess you could use them for supplies or firewood or anything of that nature. Wood chip it, everything has a purpose. So this is one of our side yards, and we got some, old redwoods, and they, get a lot of bad attention because they take a lot of water. And in hindsight, they probably wouldn't have planted them, but we mulch them really heavily, and we really don't have to water them that much, and they seem to be pretty healthy. So we'll see how long they last, but we've got these raised beds here. Years ago, we did some raised beds and did them out of redwood too, so they don't rot. And over the years, it's kind of changed on what we do with them. Last year, I did a lot of greens until we started farming, and now I've got so many greens at the farm that I don't really want to do greens here anymore. So now I'm doing more tomatoes and eggplants and more herbs, like the cilantro. I'm letting flower to have coriander and save seed. But because we get so hot here in the summer, I wanted to kind of create more microclimate. So I've been planting fruit trees in the middle of these beds, and I plan to kind of prune them to be kind of open so they provide dappled shade to the veggies, because once we go over 100, like tomatoes won't fruit, eggplants will drop their flowers, peppers will drop. So we actually need some shade in the summer to protect these more delicate plants, these more delicate vegetables. But I'm really trying to cram as much edible things here in the backyard as possible. So we had an overload of chard and kale, and those things have gone to seed now, and so I'm going to collect those seeds. But I grow everything kind of together. So we got these Sauvignon Blanc wine grapes, and we grow the chard and kale underneath that. I overwintered these peppers, didn't even cover them, and they got through our frost, so it's pretty cool. They actually already have some peppers on them, and usually I don't get peppers till June or maybe late May, and this year I have them in April, so that's pretty cool. And more grapes there, and then these guys I really love. These are jujubes right here and right here, and you can see that they've got tons of flowers. This is their second year, and I believe this is a Lang jujube, and that one's a Lee jujube, so they are cross-pollinators. And jujubes are really good fruits. Another underrated fruit that kind of tastes like apple when just getting ripe. But if you allow them to dry on the tree, they kind of take on a date taste and consistency. So I'm really excited for these this year. I think we're going to have a lot of good fruit. And they're nice too. They get pretty tall. I'm about 6'3", and these things are already probably 10 feet tall in their second year against our western part of the house. So it will shade it really nicely. And this is growing right next to a pomegranate, another pomegranate. So we're at the other part of the garden here, underneath this really beautiful oak tree. And I just want to show you the chard that's gone to seed. I usually don't let it do this, but I figured this year I wanted to collect some seed because we've gotten really nice, huge stems off of this variety. I think this is Fort Hook Giant, so I want to keep saving seed. But I want to show y'all some more flowering. It's butterfly bush. It does, in fact, attract butterflies. And then we got lilikoi, or a passion fruit vine. Lilikoi is the Hawaiian word for it. And we got fruit off this last year. It's the purple variety, and I never cover it. It always makes it through the frost. Here's another one of my favorite fruits. I think it's one of the best citrus out there. It's blood orange, and this is probably like 5 or 6 years old now, maybe even 7, and it just hasn't really fruited much in its lifetime. But I'm thinking this year is the year for it, so we'll see. And more wine grapes. They're really good just to eat, like table grapes too. And I'm trying to show you the flowers. They're really pretty. They smell great too. I never actually smelled grape flowers before, and they're actually one of the best smelling flowers. I gotta kind of go down under this tunnel here to the other side. There's another redwood tree, and there's Willow the husky. She's always patrolling to find rats. This is an avocado here, and it's in its third or fourth year, and I haven't gotten any fruit off of it yet. But I've been planting more avocados to help with cross-pollinating. It always kind of does this every year. It drops its leaves and flushes out a new set of new growth, and I've been trying to fertilize it more, but I have no idea. I'm really kind of a novice on avocados, so if you want to give me any pointers, I'm definitely open to it. Got a lot of apples here too, low chill apples. I think we get about 800 to 1,000 chill hours here in Bakersfield, but I wanted to get low chill just in case, and with the climate warming up, in the future, low chill apples are gonna probably be our best bet to get fruit. So this is a Fuji. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is a Pink Lady. And we've got a greenhouse here. Growing some broccoli underneath this grapevine. I do not know if we're gonna get a good crown off of these. You can see that there's a floret starting to show its face. We got mint under here. It's a nice ground cover insectary plant. Got some squash that has taken off. I brought some pumpkins home from the edible schoolyard last year. We actually got married in the backyard, so it was kind of used as a decoration. And I just left them there over the winter, and they rotted, and then the seeds sprouted. So there's some volunteer pumpkins now. These little seedlings coming up are chia, that one right there, and all those are flax. So I use chia and flax in my smoothies, and every once in a while I will throw some seeds out to just get some more diversity. There's more flax there. And then here's some more apples. These actually have fruit on them. We're going to cover them with a material that's kind of like pantyhose, and that'll protect from worms and other insects that try to burrow in. This is beautiful apples. I think this is an Anna variety, and that's a Dorset Golden, or maybe vice versa. And then I've got a mesquite right in the middle, and that's helping to fix nitrogen between these two apples. We're in the greenhouse here, and I try to grow things that people say won't grow here. So I've got jackfruit seedlings. Apparently some sites on the website say that you can grow them in zone 9B if you protect them. So I'm gonna try it. I started these from a seed from a fruit that my coworker gave me, and then I've got ginger starting to sprout. I've also got mangoes that I've grown from seed. They say, mangoes grown from seed probably won't produce true fruit, but I at least want to grow the trees and see if I can graft onto that rootstock someday. And then in this bag here, I've got from my buddy. He gave me all these cuttings of pawpaw, which is an annona. It's the only native annona to the United States, and it's found on the eastern forest. It's an understory tree. It's actually the largest native fruit of America. So I've been keeping them in this little greenhouse and keeping this plastic over it. These were all twigs when I got them, and then I put rooting hormone on them and have kept them under this moist conditions, and they're all starting to bud out. So pretty soon I'll have a lot of pawpaw trees. This is a milkweed species. I'm not sure exactly what type, but it's very pretty and attracts a lot of butterflies. And then right next to it is a Fuji apple. We got lots of flowering plants here right now too. Got a big fig tree. These little plastic pieces, I've tried to graft other varieties on it, but I don't think it's going to turn out this year. Oh well. And we go down the pool, get a white guava. It kind of got hit by the frost, but it's bouncing back now, so we'll see what happens with it. This is a really pretty rose. It's a nice carpet rose, and it just kind of sprawls out like a vine. We got more passion fruit here. I'm trying to get more passion fruits so that they can cross-pollinate each other. And this thing is just taking off. They do really well here, and I didn't protect this one at all from the frost, so that's a type of tropical tree that you can grow here in the valley, or really anywhere. It seems like that doesn't get too cold. And then we got a nectarine tree here. This is a snow queen. And we got little fruits on it. I might move this this upcoming winter just because I don't think it's getting enough sun. And then a really nice donut peach. These are like one of the earliest peaches. You can see there's fruit on it. I really like the donut peaches because they are very sweet and don't have much acidity. So here's another one too. I think this one's got fruit too. Yep. Some more mint. It's really taken off now. My clover too is taking off. I really like this. It's nice low growing ground cover and it fixes nitrogen. Got lots of pomegranates here. The fruit is so good for you, so why not, you know? And then I've got a banana back here. This is the south wall of the house. So I'm trying to grow some tropicals against the south wall. We've got a really productive and amazing Tangelo. Just produces hundreds of fruit every year. And it's dwarf too, so it's only about 12 feet tall, which is just the top of this pergola. And then I'm just growing a lot of things in pots around the pool. I used to be pretty against pools, but just living here in Bakersfield or living anywhere hot, it's just a lifesaver in the summer. So I'm growing things in pots here. I use these smart pots, and I've been having a lot of success with them. I do find that you have to water them quite a bit, like every day in the summer here. But I'm starting to put trees in these pots because when we eventually get some land of our own, I'm gonna plant those. But I want to keep them kind of potted for now, so. I've got some trees here. There's an apricot. I've got some cherries here. Some plums. And then other vegetables like peppers. Some lemongrass, milkweed. And then tomatoes. I did two tomato plants last year in each of these, and these are 10-gallon pots. And I found that one plant is better for 10 gallons. So if you ever get these smart pots and you want to grow tomatoes in them, which I recommend because especially if you're in a place that you don't have soil you can grow in, these are perfect for a patio, and you should only grow one pot in a 10-gallon. Really nice pepper plants. And then more stone fruits. This one is awesome. This is a Chilean guava, and it's got little flowers on it. It's in the myrtle family. And this is one of the best tasting fruits in the world. Hands down, tastes like strawberry, pineapple, cotton candy. They're very small. They're only like that big. But just an amazing fruit. And I've got this growing where it gets morning sun and afternoon shade, and it looks like I'm starting to have fruit develop on it. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is a very exciting fruit to have at our home garden. This is a neat little aquarium thing we've got going on too. We've got just some goldfish in here, and been getting bigger. And we collected some water hyacinth from a pond. It's very invasive in our waterways. It's not native to here, but in this little pond it's contained, so I didn't see a problem with that. And having plants in a pond with fish helps filter the water and keep the water clean and oxygenated for the fish to thrive. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship. You see it with aquaponics, people growing vegetables in symbiosis with fish. So I'm just growing some cattail made of reed, juncus, so another native reed, and some water hyacinth. And every time we do a water change, I just put the nutrients that I've taken out of the water, just let that go right into my garden. So our plants are surely loving it. I got some blueberries here, some southern varieties, just loaded with berries this year. And I mean, you gotta have an area to sit, right, in your garden. So it's a nice little area, surrounded by pomegranates, flowers everywhere. Yeah, I mean, we got a jungle pretty much every spring and summer and fall. Winter time it gets pretty bare, but now you can't see the street at all. Alright, so our tour is almost over, but I want to show you one more thing. This is the east side of our house. And so this gets morning sun and afternoon shade. And I wanted to do tropicals on this wall because a lot of tropicals like full sunlight, but it's so hot here that they would actually prefer some afternoon shade. So I've got a banana here. It's a apple banana. Got cherimoya. Love cherimoya. It's like strawberry, pineapple, custard. It's amazing fruit. So I really wanted to get that here. Got a white sapote, Suabelle variety, one of the best varieties. And these are all semi-deciduous. I don't think the white sapote is just semi-deciduous. I think it went under some stress, but it's starting to bounce back. So, and then I got another cherimoya variety here. And yeah, I'm just growing these tropicals to get more diversity in our diet and you know, use space wisely instead of just putting grass and stuff in. Also, I put this rough kind of compost by the banana because we did that in Hawaii, and those bananas just tend to kind of eat up all that nutrients. And I know this isn't very sightly to a lot of people, but it doesn't bother us. And it actually is interesting because it keeps the flies kind of centralized here instead of like over at our patio where we sit. So it's kind of an interesting thing that I never thought about, that it keeps the insects kind of located here. It keeps the cockroaches here. It keeps all the things that people generally don't like in one area and away from where you sit. So it's fine, and it's feeding my plants, so I don't care. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what you could do in a Bakersfield or a California garden. There's a lot of things we can grow here in the San Joaquin Valley, and I think it's I think it's an appropriate use of water and our soil resources to grow more food and functional plants. I think we need to start perpetuating permaculture in our home landscapes, and we could see a radical change in our ecology in our cities and our rural areas. So if you guys want to keep following along, we're gonna try to do some more videos on YouTube and start documenting our farm journey, our farm story, and show you things that happen every once in a while here at the home garden. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you want to subscribe to us, we're gonna have more content soon. All right, thanks for watching.